people who love food and understand its power in terms of health and sustainability and pleasure and joy and laughter and all those great things. I happened to be in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia last week, opening our 6th community food center, and there was a video that played, and it opened in August, but we cut the ribbon last week, and a woman came on the screen and talked about how the space in a very, very low-income neighborhood, huge marginalization and stress, talked about how walking through the doors of that center was about respect, was about dignity, was about belonging, was about connection. And her words, I think, capture the values and the ethos of the work at Community Food Centers Canada. In a time when there's a lot of finger pointing and division, we need places that are generous and supportive and help people to build a sense of hope and self-worth. And of course, at Community Food Centers Canada, we do that work through food. All our work is based on this idea that food is a powerful force in our lives, and that food sits at the heart of some of the big, seemingly intractable problems of our time. Think climate change, think poor health, think growing inequality. And so if we can rethink food, we can change the world. And so our work is to create spaces in Canada that reflect really the future that we want to see: inclusive, fair, sustainable, joyous, all those good things that come from food. So it's a real honor to be, I guess, the recipient of the proceeds from the book, and it's especially an honor to be in a book with such amazing people. People who are dreamers, people who never say no to anything. They don't take no for an answer. They're relentless in the work that they do. There is an incredible crew of people who are not paralyzed by the fact that 30% of our pollution and greenhouse gases come from the way we move food from field to table, or they're not paralyzed by the fact that so many of our fellow citizens, I would say we spend about $12 to $14 billion on diabetes, and that's a disease that affects the poor at twice the rate, the poor at twice the rate the wealthy, a significant problem, and the fact that 4 million of our fellow citizens have trouble putting food on their table. None of those things paralyze the people in the book. The people in the book are standing up and doing extraordinary things, whether that's Ned Bell on the West Coast around sustainable seafood, Paul Rogalski, farm to table pioneer in Calgary, Christina McMillan, who's a manager of one of our community food centers in Manitoba and Inkster. And I know Mike Fata has already been mentioned, but there's a guy who relentlessly built an incredible company that knew that there was more than just one bottom line. I think of Joshna, who's a longtime friend, and her work at Ryerson. I think of Scott, who bangs out unbelievable meals at the Scott Community Food Center. Gil, who thinks the soil is really important and we have to nourish it because that will nourish the planet. I think of Archambault, Jean-Francois in Montreal, who's trying to figure out food waste and what we do about that. Bill McPherson, Laura Kirk is here, who, again, a ton of chefs who really feel that their work extends beyond the four walls of their kitchen and their dining room. So these folks are engaged in trying to build a fair, more sustainable, crazy good tasting. As Alice Waters says, the revolution tastes good. So it absolutely does.